Hello, welcome back to A Link Between Worlds, here in the Hidden Travelers YouTube channel. Last episode, we completed the first dungeon of the game, the Eastern Palace. In this episode, we're going to acquire a few new items, as well as meeting a bunch of new characters to the series. On the last episode, after we cut things off, I just beat the Yuga, and then I kind of stopped talking. After that, the gameplay wasn't quite done. I had to sneak my way back out of the dungeon, where just we realized what all was going on. Now, as you saw in the cutscene, we got turned into a painting from Yuga, and that's her ability, is just to turn anything that she wants, anybody, into a painting on the wall. Thankfully, we had Ravio's bracelet from earlier in the game. He made this really big deal about giving it to us and wearing it. Now, we're not really sure why, but for whatever reason, wearing that bracelet enables Link to merge into walls whenever he wants, and to pretty much not be able to be turned into a painting. So it's kind of a unique thing. As of this point, the explanation for that has not yet been given, and I don't know if they're going to provide that at any point in the game, but it would definitely be a little bit weird. They just never tell us, like, oh hey, here's this bracelet that this rabbit nabbit look-alike gave us, and it counters your main nemesis ability. So it's just a kind of weird thing. Now, Gramps here knows a little bit about street pass battles, but I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to get into that here at the moment. Maybe at some point later on. As you just saw, we got a bottle, which is obviously fun, and you can put a lot of great things in there, like fairies, potions, etc., bees. But I'm going to be mostly using it for fairies. Also new to, well, kind of making a return from A Link to the Past is a fortune teller, and we're going to go ahead and just chat it up with them just to see what all is going on. And he is going to give us this new item called hint glasses, and you'll see me using it a couple of times throughout this Let's Play. It's actually a somewhat useful item, and what it does is it goes off of the 3DS's ability to acquire coins. For every 100 steps you take, you get 1 coin, etc. And thankfully, I've had my 3DS just walking around with me a lot, so I've got a bunch of coins saved up. I've got about 50. So if you ever get stuck in this game, you can easily just use the hint glasses, and there are ghosts that are hidden all over the world, and they will give you a hint to what to do just for 1 play coin. So it's really a cool kind of thing, and it allows you to maybe skip going online and getting help when you can just do this. Anyways, also new to the series is Irene. She sort of reminds me of Maple the Witch from the Oracle games, except she's not so mean in this game, and she actually is really useful and gives us this bell. This bell allows us to call Irene, and she will warp us to any of those weather vane stations that we have encountered across Hyrule, and later on in the game Lorule as well. So it's very useful. I guess she is able to span both worlds with no problem at all. I guess that's part of the whole magic ability. So we got all of that taken care of. Now what we need to do is just find our way into the next dungeon of the game. We're just going to walk around a bit before we can find that. Not really sure where I'm going. Again, this is a semi-blind Let's Play, so I'm going to get lost fairly frequently, and I mean, there's no walkthrough out for this game yet. The game's not even out yet when I'm recording all of this, and I've actually been fairly sick over the last several days, so it's kind of been unfortunate. I'm gonna so it's just kind of bring me down. Of course, I get sick right around the time that the latest Zelda game comes out, so I'm just kind of walking around trying to find where all to go and the quickest way to get there. And what we need to do is we're trying to get up into essentially Death Mountain, and I'm just playing with these new abilities to hug walls, walk on walls, and just trying to see where exactly I need to be. As you can tell, I really just have not the faintest idea. Speaking of walkthroughs, I will be having a full 100% text-based walkthrough for this game. It's not going to be out at launch, but it will be out hopefully shortly afterwards. I mean, it's obviously something that I would like to get done. So, coming soon, perhaps. But here we go. There's some rocks here in our way to get into the cave right here by the mountain. Death Mountain path is to the right, and there's a house up here to the right. So obviously a miner will know how to clear some rocks. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in his place as I get mauled by a crow. So this guy, he looks like a Goron. I don't know if he is a Goron, but he also doesn't look like one. I'm gonna assume that he's not. He is. I really can't tell with this guy. And I'm gonna say he's not. He's just some fat guy that sort of has the cropped top Goron hair that they sometimes have. So let's go ahead and get some rocks. No. He's going to give us a really useful item. Come on. Just give it to me already. He's going to talk to us for a year, and then we're going to get the Power Glove. Sort of like the Nintendo glove from the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power, but less nerdy, and less collectible, and more useful for picking up rocks. I don't advise you putting on your Nintendo Power Glove and walking outside and trying to lift things that are 3 times your weight. It's not going to end well for you. See how many of you get a hernia. Anyways, now that we have that, we can pick up these rocks and enter the Death Mountain path. And again, it's sort of similar to the path in A Link to the Past, but not quite so much. It's very, very similar in like design, but the paths are not the same. And that's a good thing, because we want a little bit of variety. Otherwise, the game would get stale really quickly if we were doing the exact same thing that the old Link / us did. Oh wow, like in like 1993, 94. When did that game come out? It's been a while. Been 20 years about. So time flies. But A Link to the Past was revolutionary for the time, and it's probably one of the best Super Nintendo games ever released. And before that, I mean, you had a Legend of Zelda, and it was open world, and it was like really cool to be exploring pretty much whatever you want. But there was not a whole lot of Super Nintendo games where you just kind of did whatever you wanted and went wherever. And A Link to the Past was just top notch in terms of graphics, gameplay, exploration, everything for the time. So it's cool that they have gone back to the roots with A Link Between Worlds and kind of just like showing us what's up. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and activate this weather vane. And I'm not going to save. Well, may as well save. Let's just make sure we're all good to go. I'll save for here. And also, like in Link to the Past, we're going to be going from cavern to cavern, trying to work our way to the top. And there's a lot of different paths we can take, so I am going to probably get lost here quite a few times. We got a lot of boulders, and they seem to be infused with rupees or other kinds of gems that are just going to be rolling around. And it doesn't tell us which way to go. And as I said, there's a bunch of paths, so we're going to be playing a little bit of just guessing back and forth and seeing where we end up at. So I don't have the item that I need at this time, and that's the magic hammer. Just gonna run through these. The magic hammer allows us to just slam down items or like pegs in the ground, knock enemies on their backs, and just a bunch of variety of factors. See what we get. Some rupees. You can, if you want to go ahead and get it, you can get it at Ravio's shop. Actually, I generally recommend checking out his shop in between every dungeon. I'm going to get it after this video and right before the next video, since it's pretty much, well, it's just on the way. You don't need it to actually get to the dungeon, but you will need it to get inside of the dungeon. So that will kind of be happening at the beginning of the next video, as I'm going to kill myself on these boulders. Hopefully I don't, because that would be embarrassing. Don't have any fairies or anything yet, so that will just be game over for me. There we go. Again, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to be going, so excuse me kind of getting lost. Blind Let's Play here. And back here, there's a bunch of different paths. We can see if there's anything down here. Doesn't seem to be now. And A Link to the Past, you use the magic mirror to go into the dark world and then back into the light world. And that was a great way to, that they kind of allowed you to reach inaccessible areas by going back and forth. And that's kind of gone in this game. Now, I don't know what all is going on here. I believe these guys in the Link to the Past were considered Gorons. I don't know if they still are. Maybe like rogue baby Gorons or something. I'm not quite sure, but the Gorons and Zoras actually used to be enemies, and Zoras still are in some of the Zelda games, especially some of the handheld ones. Just getting ourselves a bunch of rupees. 5 rupees there. Another 5. So, it's kind of cool to see how they've taken some common enemies like River Zoras and turned them into like a whole new race like they did in Ocarina of Time, which was the first game to really introduce a whole series of different races and creed within the land of Hyrule. But we're nearing the end of this video. We got a couple more minutes as I'm going to finally find where I need to go. Just gonna head over this way. Same area that we just were essentially, but we're gonna take a different path this time through and hopefully end up right where we need to go. I'm getting tired of these rocks and just in my way. So I'm just gonna run through again. I'm gonna head left a little bit more. No, that's where I went last time. So this is the one I need to go. Last time I went all the way to the left, and this is the one that I had missed previously. Alright, cool. Now we're above where we just were. I don't know if there's a way to kill these guys, but if you smack them with anything, they seem to just get stunned, so you're good to go with that. And all these monster guts, and there will later be other items that are similar that I'm collecting. I think they're used to make potions later on, sort of like choo-choo gels that we collect in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and other games, but a little bit more in-depth, sort of like crafting and Skyward Sword, but not that in-depth as well, and they don't alert you every single time you grab it, which is fantastic. So anyways, we're almost there, really close to this. Nope, I was hoping I could just get up there. I'm still learning the gameplay mechanics with merging into the wall, so just give me time as I figure all of that out. It's a really cool feature, and the puzzles, I can imagine, are going to be a lot of fun with them using that. This game definitely looks fantastic in 3D, and probably the only game on the 3DS that you actually want to have the 3D effect on, so that's actually saying something, especially coming from me, because I hate the 3D effects that they have. So yeah, definitely play it with 3D on. It's worth your time. Well, nothing in here. Just rupees. Nothing with those. Those aren't switches of any kind. Rented bow. Nope, nothing. Okay. I was making sure those weren't some kind of weird switch. I guess they're just lanterns. So that's going to conclude this episode of The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. In the next episode, we'll enter the second dungeon of the game, and it should be a good one. So stay tuned for more videos here on the Hidden Triforce channel. Thanks for watching.